Welcome to the Learning Corner. If you are new to our channel, please consider subscribing for more content. Ever wonder why a tiny, invisible entity can bring the whole world to a standstill? It's a fascinating question, isn't it? We're talking about viruses, the microscopic parasites that are smaller than bacteria and lack the capacity to thrive and reproduce without a host body. Though they're tiny, viruses are mighty. They're everywhere, in the air we breathe, on the surfaces we touch, even inside us. They're part of our everyday life, whether we realize it or not. But what makes them so powerful? Well, their power lies in their simplicity. They're just packets of genetic material, either DNA or RNA, surrounded by a protein coat. This simplicity allows them to take over the cells of other organisms and use them to multiply. But here's the interesting part. Despite their simplicity, viruses are incredibly diverse. There are millions of different types of viruses, each with its own unique way of interacting with its host. Some are harmless, others can cause devastating diseases. We've all heard of the flu, the common cold, HIV, and more COVID-19. These are all caused by viruses. Yet, as imposing as viruses might sound, they're not invincible. In fact, they're incredibly fragile. Outside a host, they're vulnerable and unable to reproduce. That's why they need us, or more accurately, our cells. When a virus enters our body, it seeks out our cells, invades them, and uses their machinery to make copies of itself. This is how it spreads and causes disease. It's a bit of a paradox, really. On one hand, viruses are tiny, simple, and fragile. On the other, they're diverse, adaptable, and capable of causing widespread disease. They're a testament to the power of evolution, a reminder of how even the simplest organisms can adapt and thrive in a wide range of environments. So here's the bottom line. Viruses are an integral part of our world. They're everywhere, and they're not going away anytime soon. But they're not invincible. They need us to survive and reproduce. And that's a key point to remember as we continue our exploration of viruses and their impact on our health. So a virus needs us, humans, as much as we don't need them. Imagine an enemy infiltrating a fortress. That's exactly how a virus invades your body. Now let's picture our bodies as this fortress, armed with complex systems and mechanisms built to ward off unwanted intruders. But sometimes these intruders are crafty, like viruses. They take advantage of our body's pathways, our noses, mouths, or even tiny breaks in the skin to stealthily sneak in. Once inside, viruses begin their cunning game. Unlike bacteria, which can survive and reproduce on their own, viruses are more like parasites. They're incomplete forms of life that require a host to multiply and spread. And that's where our cells come into the picture. A virus will attach itself to a healthy cell, tricking the cell into thinking it's a friendly visitor. Once it gains entry, the virus takes command, using the cell's machinery to replicate itself. It's like a puppet master, pulling the strings inside our cells, forcing them to churn out more and more copies of the virus. As these newly formed viruses are released, they go on to invade other cells, repeating the cycle. This widespread invasion causes the symptoms we associate with viral illnesses: the fever, the cough, the aches and pains. It's our body's reaction to this invasion, a signal that our fortress is under attack. But here's the cruel twist. While a virus uses our cells to reproduce, it also causes damage, often killing the cells in the process. This damage, coupled with our body's response to fight off the invasion, can lead to inflammation and illness. Now, not all viruses lead to noticeable disease. Some can lie dormant, hiding within our cells, only to re-emerge at a later time when our defenses may be down. So in this epic battle between viruses and our bodies, it's clear that viruses have evolved some pretty clever strategies. They're the ultimate intruders, using our own cells against us to ensure their survival and spread. In essence, a virus turns our own cells against us. Our body, however, doesn't surrender without a fight. You see, when a virus invades our body, the immune system kicks into high gear. Think of it as the body's personal security team, always on standby to protect it from any unwelcome intruders. The immune response begins with the release of white blood cells, the body's frontline soldiers. These cells are in constant patrol, and when they encounter a virus, they spring into action. They surround the virus, now essentially engulfing it, which stops the virus from spreading further. This process is called phagocytosis. But the body's defense doesn't end there. The immune system also triggers the production of proteins called antibodies. These antibodies are like the body's secret weapon, specifically designed to target the invading virus. Each antibody fits onto the virus like a lock and key, neutralizing it and marking it for destruction by other immune cells. And let's not forget about the other disease-fighting machinery our bodies possess. There are cells that send out distress signals, alerting the rest of the immune system to the invasion. There are other cells that remember the virus, ensuring a quick response if the same virus invades again. Now, here's where things get interesting. The symptoms we experience during a viral illness, such as a fever or a runny nose, are often not caused by the virus itself. Instead, they're a result of our immune system's efforts to get rid of the virus. A fever, for instance, is the body's way of making itself less hospitable to the virus. The heat can slow down the virus's reproduction and enhance the immune response. Similarly, a runny nose is the body's attempt to flush out the virus from the respiratory system. So, while these symptoms may be uncomfortable, they're a sign that the body is doing what it's supposed to do, fighting back. So that fever or runny nose is actually a sign that your body is fighting back. Sometimes, the war with viruses can have lasting consequences. In the intricate dance of biology, our bodies are often engaged in a perpetual battle against viral invaders. But what happens when the virus refuses to leave the battlefield? This is when we step into the territory of chronic viral infections. In a chronic infection, the virus continues to thrive within the body for an extended period. For some, this could mean months. For others, it could be a lifetime. Examples of these stubborn adversaries include the human immunodeficiency virus, or HIV, and hepatitis C. These viruses have evolved cunning strategies to evade our immune system's defenses, allowing them to persist in our bodies. But what about when the acute phase of the infection has passed, yet the symptoms persist? This brings us to the realm of post-viral syndromes. Even after the virus has been vanquished, its ghost can linger, causing a range of symptoms that persist long after the initial infection has resolved. Post-viral syndromes can manifest in many ways. Imagine a soldier returning home from battle, forever altered by the conflicts they've seen. The war may be over, but the scars remain. Fatigue, muscle aches, and cognitive difficulties are just some of the lingering effects that can echo the presence of a past viral adversary. Take chronic fatigue syndrome, for example. It's believed that a viral infection could trigger this condition, leaving individuals with persistent, debilitating fatigue that lasts for more than 6 months. In essence, the battle with viruses is not always a simple one. It's not always a matter of infection and recovery. Sometimes the war rages on in the form of chronic infections, and sometimes the echoes of battle persist long after the war has ended. The viral war may end, but the aftermath can linger. As we continue to explore the complexities of our relationship with viruses, we develop a deeper understanding of their long-term impact on our health and how we can better equip ourselves for these invisible battles. Now that we know our enemy, how do we stay one step ahead? The question resonates as we turn our attention to strategies for preventing viral infections. Vaccination is our first line of defense. Vaccines introduce a harmless piece of the virus into our bodies, sparking a response from our immune system. This response, a sort of biological memory, prepares our bodies to fight off the actual virus should it ever invade. This is why it's so crucial to keep up with recommended vaccine schedules. They're not just protecting you, but also those around you who may not be able to get vaccinated themselves. Good hygiene practices are another key tactic in our arsenal. Washing our hands regularly, especially before eating or after being in public spaces, can dramatically reduce the spread of viruses. And let's not forget about the importance of covering our mouth and nose when coughing or sneezing. These small acts can have a big impact on limiting the spread of viruses. A healthy lifestyle is another way we can fortify our defenses. Regular exercise, a balanced diet, adequate sleep, and managing stress all contribute to a robust immune system that's ready to tackle any viral invaders. However, viruses are shifty adversaries. They mutate and evolve, sometimes faster than we can develop new vaccines. That's where ongoing scientific research comes into play. Scientists around the globe work tirelessly to understand these mutations, developing new treatments and vaccines to keep pace with the ever-changing viral landscape. In this age of rapid information exchange, staying informed about new findings and recommendations is also crucial. Remember, misinformation can spread just as fast, if not faster, than the viruses themselves. So arm yourself with these strategies. Get vaccinated, practice good hygiene, live a healthy lifestyle, stay informed, and support ongoing research. In the war against viruses, knowledge is our most potent weapon, and with knowledge comes power. The power to stay one step ahead of viruses, to protect ourselves and our communities, and to pave the way for a healthier future.